Hello, I'm Charlotta.
And I'm Vicky.
And welcome to the School of Pattern Cutting.
So today we're going to talk about flat collars. These are sometimes known as Peter Pan collars, but that's really to do with children's wear. So we're going to talk about the idea of a flat collar.
Yeah, so they're historically very well used, but they're always constantly reinterpreted by designers. So we wanted to show you how to make them.
We think collars are really important. So what we're really interested in doing is making sure we get that bit of the garment right. And then once you've developed that bit and mastered that skill, you can then start to work on other areas of your garments.
So we're going to first of all go through all the design principles of a flat collar, and then we're going to show you how to draft it. So let's have a look at the flat collar. People sometimes call it Peter Pan collar, but it always sort of implies children's wear. So I like to call it a flat collar. It's called a flat collar because it lies completely flat. The drafting principle is very similar to the one-piece collar, but rather than having a fake stand and then folding down, it just lays lovely and flat.
When you draft it, you'll be able to make it either lie tighter up against the neck, depends on how you look at the shoulder seams, or you can change the curve here, or you could change it to an angle. So you could look at the idea of almost a sailor collar if you're interested in that for your design.
Yes, it doesn't need to be round. It could be scalloped all around. It could become, as Vicky said, a sailor, like a point in the front and then a square at the back. So you've got lots of ways of playing around with it. And it's nice, the sort of collar you sometimes see where it's actually at the back. The opening is at the back, and then the front is a fake on top of the top, so it doesn't actually open. So it's a nice way to play around with.
Lots of designers use it. You'll see it on lots of collections. I think Simone Rocker's been looking at it this season, where it's up higher. So I think you can look at online and find a few more different examples of how to design this collar.
Yeah, it's nice because it's classic, but then it's also constantly reinterpreted by designers.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you how to draft it, so we can look at all those different design ideas whilst we're drafting.
This collar is a bit different because rather than just drafting it out, you start with your bodice block. So you put on your front bodice and you trace around the top bit of it. Wonderful. And if you mark the center front, then you put on your back bodice, so they're matching at your shoulder point, and then it's really up to you how much you want your collar to roll. If you want it to be completely flat, you might just overlap it by a few centimeters, and the more you overlap it, the more it's going to roll. So we're going to do like a medium roll. And then again trace around the top half of it. And around the shoulder and armhole as well. This is just so that you know how much of an overlap you have. Perfect. So then mark your center back. So now you can see this is your neckline, and we're literally gonna draw on the collar. But first of all, you might want to lower the center front a bit so it's not too tight. So on your collar you mark 1 centimeter away and then draw a new curve starting at 90 degrees. Yeah, so that's your 1 centimeter. And then start with a 90-degree line, but it's literally just half a centimeter long. But you do that so you get a nice straight line, and then you just recurve it and join your original curve. So wonderful. That's your new neckline. Now we're first of all going to draw in the height of your collar. So we're going to go for 6 centimeters. So you just use the farmost parallel line on your pattern master and draw a line parallel to your neck. So you start at 90 degrees and then just follow the curve. So it's about always checking your neck and then moving back to your pattern master line. So we're working in felt tip, so it's quite clunky, the line. If you're working in pencils, it should be much smoother. And at the end, you go around and smooth it all out with your curve. But this is just to make sure it's parallel. Okay, and stop. So now you've got the height of your collar. Now the last thing you need is just to draw in your curve or whatever shape you want the front. So it could be straight or it could be curved. And then also just go around and make sure it's a nice smooth curve. So we're going for a curved pointy bit. If you want to do a round one, you might want to use this sort of quite nice and smooth curve. Okay, and then just make sure you even that out a bit. Once you get used to using your pattern master, you get more confident at just drawing freehand lines with your straight edge. But to begin with, it's good to always check with your curve that it's nice and smooth. Okay, that's perfect. The last thing you need to do is add seam allowance everywhere but the center back, because the center back is a fold again. And the center back is either your straight, you have to decide either your center back is your straight of grain or your center front is the straight of grain. I would make a trial and then decide which one you want to do, because if you have a curve, it might be better to have the center back straight at the center back. So, seam allowance everywhere. So make sure you start at a 90 degree again. And then for your curve, you can just start moving using the curve bit, so it's faster. And just add seam allowance on the neck. Yeah, so start at 90 degrees just to make sure. centimeter. And remember to add a seam allowance to your new neckline, not your old one. Yes, and then what you can do is, if you have a pointy bit like that, is you make sure it's 1 centimeter at the point, and then just draw across. So you have like you take away the pointy bit, which will make it tricky to sew. And you just have to make sure on your front bodice you lower your neck 1 centimeter as well. And when you're done, you might want to mark the shoulder notch again. So you know that goes at the shoulder seam. That's your Peter Pan or flat collar all done.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe and we'll see you in the next one.